Hey, how are you? I am Chris Robin, aka at Detroit Beastie, here, back again with Fantasy Six Pack to talk about Thursday Night Football, and it's also Halloween. So happy Halloween to those of you who celebrate, and all of us horror movie and Michael Myers slasher fans, however you want to put it. My favorite run of not only horror movies of all time, but realistically in my top five of all time. I wouldn't say all of the movies, but Michael Myers and the original one are in my top three, to be honest. I'm a simple man. I like horror. I like a guy wearing a mask with a knife, and that's it. All the supernatural thrillers, those are fun, but I need a guy, an actual man or a woman, sinister with a mask and a knife or a chainsaw. Freddy Krueger rules too. So does Jason, and even Art the Clown. A new horror movie legend has made his way into our homes and on the silver screen. When we look at this football game, Houston Texans go to New York to battle the Jets, and the 2-6 New York Jets are back in prime time yet again. There's a lot to discuss, but I'm going to keep it simple. I have like 6-7 players mentioned. I have lineups built. I'm going to share all of those as well. And as I look down, not only at my notes today, but I have, like I said, I built like 4 lineups, maybe 3 that I think are really solid. And I'm going to go through each one quickly. And the meat of this whole thing will be, those 5 or 6 players, including Houston's kicker. Before I get into that, we'll do that simple dance. Make sure you get to the website, check it out, see what's right for you. It is, week 9 kicks off today. So your seasonal teams, your dynasty teams, redraft stuff, you're gonna need to win now. If I'm not mistaken, you want to know IDP projections, rankings, trade charts, all of that. You can find it right here at Fantasy Six Pack. I have the socks laying around somewhere. They're clean, not like I wore them and they're laying around like a bum. But you can get all kinds of good swag at the website. It's so comfortable and soft, but mainly hit the Discord. You can get ideas of lineup builds and questions. There's folks in there right now who don't even work for the website sharing their own thoughts and ideas as Dave Eddy just shoots everybody down, right? So that's how Dave is. We love him, kinda, or do we tolerate him? I don't know. I'm indifferent to the whole Dave Eddy thing, but he knows we're tight, we're friends. When we look at this game, let's double back. The 6-2 Houston Texans go to the Jets. The 6-2 Jets to battle them in Jersey today, I believe, is where they play. MetLife Stadium. Kickoff is at 8:15 p.m. The over-under right now, 42.5 points. So which way are we going? Which way are we leaning? I'll tell you right now, I firmly believe that Aaron Rodgers is going to be my MVP captain play tonight. You say, whoa. Aaron Rodgers hasn't done anything of note. Look, it's no secret I'm a big NFC North slappy. I'm a Detroit Lions guy, and I'm telling you, I've seen the story one too many times in my life. And to be fair, I've said the Jets' record several times. They're 2-6. I believe they're 0-5 straight up. Their last 5 games, I know for a fact they're 0-5 against the spread. Their last 5 games. And Aaron, cool as a cucumber. Nothing bugs him. Nothing gets to him. It's reminiscent of those the RELAX, the relaxed days years back when he was with Green Bay. Not saying that the Jets are going to go on a run and not lose again this season, make the playoffs, and it's going to be a happy ending. How do I know how the ending is going to go? I just don't. I don't know anything ever, if it matters. But when we look at Aaron Rodgers, there's nothing here that says I'm going to fade him. He's a bum. He's a schlub. Maybe we could say he's kind of washed, but again, I've seen the story one too many times, and we've seen all the clips and all the gifs and memes about him, feeling gassed up because he's drinking that cayenne pepper water juice or whatever it's called. To be fair, that's an old recipe that goes way back. I've heard about that a long time ago. There's on-air personalities on the radio over the years. Robin Quivers is who I'm getting at. She used to drink, cayenne pepper and lemon, drops of legit lemon juice in her water as a fast. That's all she would put in her system to lose, large amounts of weight quickly. So Aaron Rodgers, I don't know what the heck he's up to. He's drinking ayahuasca with the cayenne pepper. But Aaron Rodgers, $13,000 on FanDuel. He's going to do some damage tonight, right? And he's got 2 touchdown passes in 5 of his last 8 games, but he's only topped 250 passing yards in 3 games so far this season. So Aaron Rodgers is very much in play, 20 to 21 completions, 200 yards, and 2 touchdown passes. Could there be a case where he gets to 3? Sure, but I think that third touchdown that the Jets score will be on the heels of Breece Hall running in the football somewhere down the line. So let's go to Breece Hall briefly. Right now, Houston 4th overall against opposing running backs. Does it matter when you're as good as this kid Breece Hall is and the volume that will be there? I have Breece Hall 15 carries, around 75 to 80 yards, 3 to 4 receptions for another 30 yards. So you're looking at just over 100 all-purpose yards, and I have a touchdown question mark. Normally, I get in the mode and I'm very decisive. I make a decision. I've already gone over the doling out touchdown method that I have. While it's likely, highly likely, I just can't put myself to it. Should we do an anytime touchdown bet for Breece Hall? Absolutely. And get this, the Texans, they're allowing 4.7 yards a carry this season to running back. So Breece Hall is in for not a monster game per se, but a very solid day for Breece Hall. On the opposite end of the field, same position, Joe Mixon at the Jets. The Jets are 12th overall against opposing running backs, but when you look at the state of this Houston Texans wide receiver room or their offense, now Stephon Diggs is out, tore up his knee. Nico Collins is still out. So Mixon is going to be I hate to use the term the biggest benefactor, because these are human beings, right? They're legit men, playing a kid's game. And so when they have such a nasty injury like that, you say, well, I never once said, oh, I'm glad, this guy is out, or I'm happy this guy got hurt. But on the field, you still got to play football games. It's still a business. And I firmly believe, aside from A-Rod as my MVP captain spot, Joe Mixon is in line to be a close second, my 1B of MVP captain spots, given the huge voluminous load of work that he's going to get this evening, I should say. Mixon, 19-20 carries, 80 yards, a touchdown on the ground. That's basically one of the biggest, the easiest locks of the century, that Joe Mixon will score a touchdown tonight. Sweet little anytime touchdown bet to add in to sweeten the pot on any of your player parlays. 3 to 4 receptions for another 20 yards. So right on the cusp, right there, 100 all-purpose yards and a touchdown. He's a ton of dough on FanDuel, 16.5, but it makes sense if you just comb through some of the statistics that are just boom right in front of us, readily available. One thing I will say, the Jets are giving up only 101.4 yards a game to running back. So there it is. There's your 100 yards will be from Joe Mixon. When we look at the wide receivers, I have it's not really a fun idea. And by the end of this thing, instead of, if you want to fast forward to the end, or if you never watched the whole video, that's fine. You can do as you please. But that there's no surprises, no secrets that I deem necessary enough to kind of go out on a limb and tell you here. Again, you rewind just a tad to the Mixon blurb, or the Mixon, thing here. Who else is going to step up without Stephon Diggs and Nico Collins, right? Robert Woods, John Mechie III, Xavier Hutchinson. Realistically, it would be Tank Dell. The Jets are 3rd overall against opposing wide receivers. The Jets have allowed the fewest yards to wide receivers. The Jets DST is also kind of underperformed so far this season, but you got Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed, roaming back there. You get Sauce as the cornerback, and then DJ Reed, the DB. Tank Dell's going to be in for some tough sledding here this evening, given the fact that is that the only game in town for Houston in terms of wide receivers? I would say yes, but in the meantime, Robert Woods, Xavier Hutchinson, John Mechie, things like that. So Tank Dell, 7-8 targets, 4 or 5 receptions. He's still, a human being, a human being man who's going to be targeted, and he will catch passes. To what extent, though? I have him around, like I said, 4 to 5 receptions for around 60 yards. I believe that stacking up the Jets is the way to go, but it's all cut and dry. It's more cash game stuff, I've noticed, for me in this game. Davante Adams, Garrett Wilson. Let's start with Garrett Wilson, because I think Davante, they're gonna try, and when I say the Jets, they're gonna want to why would they showcase Davante Adams? That means like he's gonna be traded or something like that. But I believe that Aaron Rodgers is going to want to really show off, I should say, not showcase, but show off Davante Adams tonight. tonight. They're boys, they're dogs, however you want to put it. Davante Adams, 9 to 10 targets, 5 to 6 receptions, 60 yards, and a receiving touchdown. Same deal for Garrett Wilson. This guy, 10-11 kid, I should say, he's a young man. 10-11 targets, 5-6 receptions, looking at around 65 to 70 yards, and he will score a receiving touchdown as well. So Adams, Wilson, and Joe Mixon so far, the three-headed, touchdown monster. If you want to add in maybe Dalton Schultz as well, the Houston Texans tight end, I think he finds the end zone as well on 5 to 6 targets, 4 or 5 receptions, around 40 yards, and he scores as well. So when this thing is all said and done, I think the New York Jets win at home, 24-17. I'm not a conspiracy theory guy, but when you look at everything that's gone on, not only in the last week to 10 days, or if you want to go back to when the Jets added Davante Adams, this thing is all set up for the New York Jets to win. I don't believe in that things are actually. Does anybody believe that the NFL is scripted or professional sports are scripted? If you do, then we got to put all our money down on the Jets to win this thing. It's just it would be too perfect. They're 2-6. Aaron Rodgers is drinking cayenne pepper juice. He's cool as a cucumber, as I said, and everything rolls off without a hitch. And the New York Jets win this one 24-17. So when I say things, that like I don't like the guy or I'm going to fade the guy for, other purposes, like the rest of the Houston Texans wide receivers, Woods, Mechie, Xavier Hutchinson. Fading a guy doesn't mean I dislike him. Fading him doesn't mean that they're not going to do well. And I notice people that watch the videos or they consume other content, it's so cut and dry with how they take in the content. So to be fair, if I'm going to fade a guy, that doesn't mean I dislike him. If fading a guy, you can be wrong, sure, but there's also a lot of positive takes and spins that people have across the board. So it's Halloween. Let's be safe. Let's have some fun. Let's put some money down on the Jets to win 24-17 in this one. A few recent betting trends, and we'll get the heck out of here. The under has come in 6 of Houston's last 7 games. I touched on 2 Jets ones already. 0-5 against the spread last 5. 0-5 straight up their last 5. Houston 2-7-1 against the spread their last 10 against the Jets, while the over has hit in 4 of the Jets' last 6 games against the Houston Texans. So give me the New York Jets to win this one 24-17. Aaron Rodgers throws a pair of touchdown passes, one to Davante Adams, one to Garrett Wilson. No shocking surprise there. And Joe Mixon to have a big game. There's no other way. It's like almost forced that Joe Mixon is going to have somewhat decent of a game by the time this thing is over. So with it being Halloween, if you're going to go out and trick-or-treating, be happy, be good, be safe, wear reflective gear, and that's it. If you're going to put on a mask and walk around with a knife, I don't know. I wish you the best of luck. That's the only way I know. Be good, be safe. The New York Jets win this one 24-17. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.